You are seeing governments accumulate silver and it being bled dry from the exchanges across the globe. To me, it represents the maybe the best value I've ever seen ever in any commodity.
I'm going to say I think silver prices will at least be above 32 this year. Pretty sure of that, pretty comfortable saying that. I think they probably will be closer to 35. And I think for next year, 40 is very likely. I think we're going to see a tremendous sustainable run up in the silver price. And the new floor is going to be a lot higher. I think it's going to be probably somewhere above $50, which has been its all-time high for, 50 years or so.
Gold's rise has dominated headlines recently, but Andy Schectman believes silver remains the most undervalued precious metal with significant untapped potential. Although silver currently trades around $32.65 per ounce, Schectman predicts that silver will experience a major shift, potentially leading the charge in the precious metals market. Silver could break away from its historical lag behind gold as macroeconomic tensions continue to grow, moving to the forefront as a key asset. Both industrial demand and strategic acquisitions by global governments are helping drive silver's growing importance. One of the factors contributing to silver's undervaluation is the manipulation of its price, mainly by large commercial banks and financial institutions that hold significant short positions. Tactics like naked shorting, where banks sell silver contracts without backing them with physical silver, artificially suppress the price. Reports indicate that 4 and 6 billion ounces of silver are shorted on the London Bullion Market Association, LBMA, distorting the true market value. This manipulation is compounded by the role of Western financial institutions that benefit from keeping silver prices low, allowing them to maintain control over other precious metals and commodities tied to the global financial system. Despite these price manipulations, countries like Russia, China, and India are beginning to recognize silver's true value and have started building up their reserves. China, the world's second-largest producer of silver, has been acquiring silver directly from Latin American miners, signaling its strategic importance. The manipulation of silver prices is increasingly challenged as more nations understand its potential value. The silver-to-gold ratio, historically skewed, presents a rare opportunity for investors, with many viewing silver as an asymmetric trade with significant upside potential. As countries shift their focus to accumulating silver, the pressure on the manipulated price could eventually lead to a correction. As we bring you clips from the discussion, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this.
The Bank of Russia came out and said they are going to start accumulating silver every day for the next month, adding it to their strategic stockpile. That was something that was somewhat shocking. We've never heard that from a government, really, to my knowledge, before. You have India that is who has bought, I don't know, between 8 and 900 million ounces of silver over the last 3 years. They're buying it at levels that far exceed any central bank purchasing. You have China, as I mentioned in an interview I did with Sean Kuhn from Dolly Varden, who confirmed they're flying all around Latin America, buying doré and concentrate from the miners directly. They're the second largest producer of silver in the world. And David Morgan said, well, they'll actually tell you they're the first largest. Who knows? But the point of it is that you are seeing governments accumulate silver and it being bled dry from the exchanges across the globe. To me, it represents the maybe the best value I've ever seen ever in any commodity. But in the end, you're right. In the end, gold is the only other tier 1 reserve asset. I wouldn't count gold out. But when we talk about value, it's pretty darn hard to ignore the value that is found in silver. When the dust settles, I think the place to be is gold, and you play that silver to gold ratio. To me, it's the trade of a generation. When someone says to you, you can double your position, it usually comes with great risk. I look at the silver play as one of the greatest asymmetrical risk reward trades I've ever seen, meaning low downside, high upside. Trump was Musk was on with Joe Rogan recently and said that you could create, if I think it was 100-mile by 100-mile grid of solar panels, you could power the entire United States. If you pull it up, just Google it, it'll pop right up. It's about a 20-second clip. And with a guy like him in there with that kind of pull, who knows what the future is for silver. I do know that when 8 commercial banks hold the largest short position that of any commodity traded on COMEX, as Ed Steer showed on an interview with your father not too long ago, you ask yourself, why the hell would they do that? Why would 8 banks be shorting a commodity like that naked, meaning they don't have the silver to back it up? For what reason would they risk that? And why is there between 4 and 6 billion ounces short on the LBMA? I think these kinds of manipulations that the West has been involved with for a very long time is being exploited by these countries slowly. So I think it's the trade of a generation. And I think the silver to gold swap is as good of a speculation as I've ever seen in my career. Gold is the ultimate place to be in the end. If I had only one trade to make, period, it would probably be in gold, because it is the only other tier 1 asset in the world. And I think when you're making decisions like this, maybe profit isn't your primary concern, although I think gold will go higher than people think possible, because it will go much higher to be pegged to a new system, whether it be one that Trump issues. And I think that's how the West could derail a lot of the demand for the BRICS currency, is to be the first one to do it. There's a lot of talk of it. You know, you have the Senator Loomis from Wyoming, who talks about revaluing the gold. You have Judy Shelton, who talks about adding gold into the system to gain trust. Who knows? But in terms of value, in terms of upside potential, in terms of asymmetrical risk reward, I have never seen anything like silver. And look, the market, as everyone knows, can stay irrational longer than people can stay solvent, or longer than people's patience will allow them to stay rational. I just still think it's hard to ignore the value that has been created through suppression on COMEX and the LBMA, and that seems to me to be challenged. It's being challenged right now, and I think it's never been challenged. These countries were not in a position to do so. They are now, and they're coordinated as well. They're coordinated and very wealthy, and they understand what we're doing, and they understand.
Peter Krauth, a well-known bullish analyst for silver, highlights a concerning trend in the silver market. He notes that industrial demand for silver has surged dramatically, tripling since 2020, while global supply struggles to meet this increasing demand. Mining output is falling by approximately 20%, and as industrial consumption continues to deplete remaining reserves, silver resources could be exhausted within a few years, potentially precipitating a supply crisis. Krauth emphasizes that silver is an indispensable component for powering the future, particularly in green technologies such as solar energy, making silver a critical element in the global renewable energy shift. In addition to the growing demand from the renewable energy sector, silver's role in advanced technology applications continues to expand. Companies like Tesla secure silver directly from mines for their energy projects, while other tech giants like Samsung are incorporating it into emerging technologies such as solid-state batteries. Krauth predicts a significant price increase for silver as demand continues to rise across both industrial and technological sectors. Given the ongoing depletion of secondary supplies and the expanding industrial use of silver, Krauth suggests that silver prices could soon break through current resistance levels, potentially stabilizing above $50, with further increases expected as demand continues to accelerate.
I'm going to say I think silver prices will at least be above 32 this year. Pretty sure of that, pretty comfortable saying that. I think they probably will be closer to 35. And I think for next year, 40 is very likely, and potentially as much as at least touching a $45 level sometime next year. I just think we're in this wave of, there's so many things that are supporting silver, and both industrial demand. The same conference I was at last week, some of your viewers may know someone who is very, very accomplished in the silver space, guy by the name Tom Kaplan, who's behind the Electrum Group brought multiple companies, silver producers to market, manages money in this space. They were one of the world's largest private minerals rights holders globally at one point in their history. This guy knows what he's talking about, and he's a true silver bull. I asked him where he thought silver was going, and he said, in this cycle, triple digits, no problem. So yes, he's a bull. So, take that with a grain of salt, but I'm fully on board with that. I like to say kind of one last thing, which I alluded to earlier. There's a group out of New York called Gehring and Rosenzweig, and Leigh Gehring used to manage the world's largest commodities fund several years back. He thinks silver is going to $500. But more importantly, I came across something they said about the uranium market not that long ago. And so, and when I saw it, I thought, oh my goodness, this is a perfect parallel for what's going on with silver. So they said, we became uranium bulls 5 years ago. We saw that the market had quietly slipped into a deficit position, and that utilities were starting to tap into secondary supplies. And we knew that those supplies were finite and that uranium would have to start moving in a considerable way. So if you look at what happened in uranium in the last few years, it was for multiple years bottoming at $20, $30, bottomed somewhere around $23, and we're around $80 today. And when it started to move, it absolutely took off. And what we've been talking about in the last sort of 30 minutes or so in terms of where the silver market is, in terms of structural deficit, in terms of secondary supplies that we can tap into to meet this excess demand and the finiteness of these secondary supplies, this is a perfect parallel with uranium. And I've said, silver is the next uranium. I shouldn't say except. Uranium has gone to $80, has maintained those levels, has been very steady. I think we're going to see a tremendous sustainable run up in the silver price. And the new floor is going to be a lot higher. I think it's going to be probably somewhere above $50, which has been its all-time high for, 50 years or so.
As countries increasingly shift away from Western financial systems' dominance, silver's true value may be recognized, driving a substantial price correction. Historically, the silver-to-gold price ratio has suggested that silver is significantly undervalued compared to gold, presenting a unique opportunity for investors. Central banks are showing greater interest in silver, adding it to their reserves, while industrial demand continues to rise, particularly in green technologies and advanced electronics. Given the prolonged market manipulation, this growing pressure from institutional and industrial buyers could soon trigger a sharp rise in silver prices. As the market adjusts and supply struggles to meet demand, silver's value could see a significant correction, potentially reaching price levels more accurately reflecting its true worth and long-term potential. Please share your thoughts on silver price analysis in the comments below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.